The Reincarceration Bureau had spent decades refining its system, perfecting the cycle of control, ensuring that every past lifer paid for their crimes. But in the depths of its own technology, hidden beneath layers of security and secrecy, there was something the Bureau feared more than anything: the glitch. The broadcast was routine, an expected spectacle aired live across the nation. At unpredictable moments, the R.I.B. would publicly announce the next individual identified for reincarceration, a ceremony designed to instill both order and fear, ensuring compliance through uncertainty. A massive digital screen, pulsing with cascading green and gold code, filled the tribunal chamber, its matrix-like display compiling genetic data, criminal imprints, and past life identifiers, all converging into a single inevitable outcome. High Judge Alexander Graves presided over the event as he had countless times before. Seated atop his elevated bench in the Supreme Tribunal, he adjusted his robes as the cameras zoomed in. The tension in the room was manufactured, rehearsed, yet effective. The people needed their justice, and the Bureau ensured they received it. The announcer's voice boomed through the chamber. Today's scheduled reincarceration subject has been identified. The digital matrix shifted rapidly, columns of symbols transforming into a single name, processed and verified by the Bureau's most advanced artificial intelligence. The system cross-referenced every database, every past conviction, every genetic match. The chamber grew silent as the system locked onto its next subject, Selena Graves. A secondary alert rang through the chamber as a digital clock struck 8:42 p.m., the exact time of Selena's birth 18 years ago to the second. Selena Graves was not in the courtroom. She was at her birthday party. Her house was alive with music, laughter, and the energy of youth. Friends surrounded her. Her boyfriend held her close. Her mother beamed with pride. It was the kind of night where the future felt endless, where dreams felt tangible. And then the music cut out. Every screen in the house, from the TV in the living room to the holographic projections on their walls, flickered to the same chilling image, the tribunal's official seal. The air seemed to drain from the room as the live broadcast overtook every device. The words on the screen sent a shockwave through the party. Selena Graves, identified past lifer. Immediate retrieval authorized. The silence was deafening. A heartbeat later, the house erupted into chaos. "No, that's a mistake!" her boyfriend shouted, grabbing her arm as if he could anchor her in place. Her friends backed away in confusion and fear. Everyone had seen the arrests before. No one had ever known someone personally marked for reincarceration until now. Selena's mother let out a strangled gasp before collapsing, unconscious, onto the marble floor. The shriek of a girl cut through the noise. Someone had started crying. Someone else was screaming. And then the final betrayal. The men assigned to guard her, her father's personal security detail, the very same R.I.B. officers who had always stood by her family, stepped forward. Their uniforms shifted in the dim light as their weapons were drawn. Selena Graves, by order of the Reincarceration Bureau, you are hereby detained to serve the remainder of your sentence. Her father's own men, her protectors, her captors. No, no! Selena's voice cracked as she struggled, but the guards were trained, precise. They moved swiftly, binding her wrists in lumicuffs that tightened at her pulse points. Her boyfriend lunged. A mistake. One guard struck him across the jaw, sending him sprawling to the floor. She screamed as they dragged her away, her mother still unconscious, her friends frozen in horror. She had done nothing. She was innocent. But none of it mattered. Back in the tribunal chamber, Judge Graves gripped the armrests of his chair. His hands trembled as he stared at the name on the screen, the name of his daughter. The system was flawless, or so he had believed. But now, as he watched his own flesh and blood being detained, he saw something he had never considered before. What if the system was wrong? The head of the R.I.B., Commissioner Elijah Mercer, stepped forward, his expression void of emotion. Judge Graves, the system has spoken. Reincarceration law is absolute. Graves swallowed, the weight of decades of certainty crumbling in an instant. He had condemned thousands under this system, believing wholeheartedly in its infallibility. He had given speeches, ruled over trials, reinforced the Bureau's power. But this was his daughter, and the system had just signed her death warrant. That night, in the privacy of his chambers, Graves accessed the classified archives. He overrode security clearances, searching for the case file on Selena's so-called past life. What he found sent ice through his veins. The records were inconsistent. The past life bioimprint assigned to her didn't match. Her genetic markers were an anomaly, flagged with an error code he had never seen before. Code 12XG, the digital code that had remained a secret to the R.I.B. scientist and the elite founders, also known as the glitch. His fingers trembled as he scrolled through more records, hundreds of flagged anomalies, thousands. Cases just like Selena's, people marked, sentenced, erased from existence. The system had been failing for years, but the Bureau had buried it, ensuring no one would ever find out. And now, they expected him to look into his daughter's eyes and let the system destroy her. Graves had a choice: accept the lie he had built his career upon, or burn the entire system to the ground. The next morning, instead of presiding over Selena's sentencing, he disappeared. He wiped every trace of his access logs and went underground. He knew what the Bureau would do. He had signed the orders himself, time and time again. Dissenters were erased, past lifers or not. But Graves wasn't just running, he was searching. His contacts led him to the only people who could help: the resistance. Those who had been fighting against the Bureau's reign in the shadows, deemed radicals, terrorists, criminals. Now Graves was one of them, and he had proof. The war against the Bureau had just gained a powerful ally. Or did they? Before Graves could deliver the full details that could dismantle the Bureau, he just disappeared, along with the classified documentation that could expose everything. No contact, no trace. His last known location was a resistance safe house, but when they returned, it was empty. The files, the data, the evidence, gone. Had he hidden them? Or had the Bureau taken them before he vanished? His daughter, Selena, remained a victim of the glitch, still in R.I.B. custody. The Bureau had bought itself more time. For now, the secret remained intact. But somewhere, buried in the chaos, the truth was still out there, waiting to be uncovered. But for how long?